Hello and welcome to What the Flick. I'm Matt. That's Christy.
Hello.
That's Alonso. We're back after another weekend with The Rock and some CGI animals rampaging all over the box office. Did you take Nick to go see this?
I did not. You know what I saw this weekend was Suspiria. Not the Guadagnino remake, but I watched the original Dario Argento Suspiria because it was the suggestion this week on my little Christy by Request feature on my website, and I'd never seen it, and I had planned to see it anyway at some point
before the remake,
which comes out later on this year, which supposedly is more of a reboot.
Well,
it's not a remake because I'm not sure you could remake Suspiria ever, but especially like you know, it's so of its time in terms of the look of it and the colors.
If you try and make a giallo with a straight face, you wind up with "I Know Who Killed Me."
Yeah, no, it's so of its time, and the lighting is so amazing. So I watched that, and I totally get now why it is as adored as. Have you seen it?
No. Well, wait, the original Suspiria? Yeah. Yes, sorry. Yes, I have.
Jessica Harper.
It's very strange. That's what I did this weekend. I did not take Nick to see that either. Every once in a while, he'd walk in and out, and I'm like, I don't think you should be here. I think you should be in the backyard right now.
Maybe not.
Anywhere else. So, what did you do?
I worked. I have a thing coming up that I am not supposed to talk about yet, but it will involve my going to Atlanta again.
Very exciting.
I'll leave it at that.
Very exciting. Gabe didn't seem that interested in Rampage, which I was a little surprised at. He was actually more interested in going down to the pier because there was some Pokemon Go event and they were getting something about shiny Pokemon that I don't know.
Now, am I wrong in thinking they're making some new Harry Potter game that's like Pokemon Go?
I don't know.
And that you're out in the world and doing things?
Maybe.
Because heaven help us, that's going to be...
I have no idea.
Did Pokemon Go still exist? That people were still walking around with their phone looking for stuff?
Yes.
I thought that ended like when fidget spinners ended.
There are still gyms out there.
Right. But, you know, a fair amount of people went and saw Rampage in the theaters this weekend. Not as many as I would have thought. I would have thought that movie would have opened bigger, but it only opened to like $34.5 million.
Yeah. It was number one, though. I think
it was number one.
Quiet Place would be number one again.
Doesn't suck, but not as strong as it might have been based on some of the analysis and certainly based on what this movie cost and the fact that they've pretty much got one more weekend before Avengers comes and wipes out everything.
I was going to say it won't have the legs that perhaps.
No.
The genetically enhanced legs that it would have before. Maybe folks, though, were tired of quiet and they wanted loud, and that's why they went to see Rampage.
Well, but Quiet Place is holding on pretty well. I mean, 32.6 is not that far behind Rampage, and you know, so it's almost at 100 mil in the first 10 days, which is pretty impressive.
Right, Truth or Dare did almost $20 million.
Yeah.
Ready Player One came in at another $11 million, and Blocker rounding out the top 5 at $10 million. Beirut only opened to about $1.6 million. And that wasn't a wide release, though, was it? Or was it?
755.
Oh, yeah,
so
medium.
Medium. So that's not a huge release.
But I feel like Rampage did really, really well internationally. I feel like it made like $60 million in China. Like it made
actually,
more in China than it did here.
114.1 from 61 markets, 55 in China alone.
Yeah, so maybe it'll be okay, right? That's where you make your money back,
I suspect,
is internationally, whatever.
So we're going to get a Rampage 2.
I hope so. What animals should get injected with the space age stuff that makes them big?
Well, in one of the games, there's like
amoebas.
There's a boar, I think, in one of the games. There's sequel games.
Oh,
there's other games with other animals.
It's canon.
But didn't the crocodile already have like boar tusks?
Yeah. Well, then in some of the games they start going through time.
Well, as you do.
That's going to be
like
amazing.
You knock over buildings from the past.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, or like they go on a world tour, like you go around different countries and knock things down. But then I think at some point they start going through time and they're against aliens.
I'll tell you, and the thing about Quiet Place to remember is that's a movie that translates very easily.
That's true.
You know, we forget that back in the day, like silent films travel the world. And all you have to do is put in new title cards, you know. So for the fact there's so little dialogue in this movie, that makes it, I think, an easy sell to, you know, anywhere.
Also, rampaging animals translate.
Also, I'm not taking anything away from Rampage. I'm just, you know, but with both that and A Quiet Place are still like going pretty strong. But again, Avengers will open and none of this will all be moot.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things I want to bring up is, you know, it only opened to number 33, The Rider. because it only opened in 3 theaters, but it's got the highest per screen average of the week at $14,000 per screen, which is almost double Rampage's 18.
Right, but that's
$8,000.
But that's anytime a big art house movie opens, it has a mammoth per screen
because it's only on 3 screens.
Right.
But you know, that's if you get the chance, it's definitely worth seeking out. We reviewed it last week. It's a terrific movie, and in theaters, hopefully it'll get a little bit of an expansion. Right. We hope.
It has great reviews. It has great word of mouth. It also translates internationally. The horses are quiet.
I suppose so.
Yes.
I mean, it screened at Cannes last year, so I mean, has it? For all I know, it may have already played other countries by now. I don't even know.
That's true.
But
yeah,
worth seeing. Projected. The cinematography is great.
Go see it.
Shot by the guy who did God's Own Country, by the way.
Oh, that makes sense. Yes. Yeah. Grimy
people in the land. Yes.
Love story. Yes.
Yes.
Other new movies opening this week: Sergeant Stubby, An American Hero.
Did they even screen that?
They sent out discs. I had a reviewer. Ingu reviewed it and liked it.
Oh.
And she's a tough customer sometimes.
It's an animated story about a World War I
dog.
Is it a military dog?
It is a military dog. That dog got a half-page obit in the New York Times.
Well, of course he's military. How do you think he gets sergeant?
Because he could.
It might just be like a nickname.
He detected mustard gas and things. Like he's an actual war hero.
Okay. Well, they didn't promote that at all. To people like me who have children.
It was weird. I mean, I saw some, like, I went to see Rampage on Thursday night because I missed the press screening, and they had like those sort of pre-trailer things where they interviewed all the voice people, like there's Logan Lerman and Gerard Depardieu talking about this dog, you know. But yeah, before that, I hadn't seen any ads or anything.
How was your Rampage showing? Was it packed? Was it noisy? Was everyone into it?
It was okay. It was about half full. There was a family.
Yeah, we haven't talked to you about Rampage yet.
What do you think about Rampage, Alonso?
It was all right. I think y'all maybe oversold it. Or if I had seen it with you guys, or like with, you know, Dave and Bibbs and Gray.
And had a couple of drinks like we did.
That might have, I think, made the difference. It was fine. There were some fun parts and some less fun parts. I had a family behind me that did a lot of talking in a language that I did not recognize. It wasn't English, wasn't Spanish, wasn't anything in the European or Asian. I don't know what it was, but anyway, they were.
But they were into it.
They were into it, except when they were talking to each other. I don't know if they were into it or not. It was all right. I had a solid sort of baseline of fun with it, but like. As Dave had pointed out, do we really have to have Naomi Harris get sort of sexually harassed at the end of the movie? Like, that felt kind of undercutting of her character.
Wait, what happens to? I don't remember what happens to
the ape makes a symbol to Dwayne Johnson, and she gets annoyed, and the ape and Dwayne Johnson are like winky wink, but I was like, oh, come on,
that's our shtick.
Come on, movie.
She's a brilliant scientist.
You were better than this up until now, and you were Rampage, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
No, it was fine. It was fine.
Okay.